Welcome to the truth about the Bible. We will start at the beginning and take it from there. 1.15 In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And then God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day. Many speculate about how long this whole process took to take place, as we are the only species on this world that measure time and use time to measure the flow of life. So when the Bible tells us that it was the first day, some would take it literal as one period of 24 hours as we measure one day. But this might have taken one day as we measure time, or it might have taken billions of years. But only the Creator will know how long it took for this whole process to take place. Time is irrelevant in the greater scheme of things about the creation. When the Bible was inspired by God, the Creator of all, he had to state the duration of the creation in terms that the people were able to understand, and because man measures everything in time, it would be logical that the creation would also be stated in sections of time that the readers could understand. As the creation took place in 6 phases, with the start of the creation making up the first day, as measured by man. 1.68 And God said, "Let there be a dome in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." So God made the dome and separated the waters that were under the dome from the waters that were above the dome. And it was so. God called the dome sky. And there was evening and there was morning, the second day. 9 And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. 10 God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. 11 Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. 12 The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. 13 And there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. 14 And God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, and days and years." 15 And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. And it was so. 16 God made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. 17 God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. 18 To govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. 19 And there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. 20 And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." 21 So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. 22 God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." 23 And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. 24 And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. 25 God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. 26 Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." 27 So God created mankind in his own image, in the image of God he created them, male and female he created them. In this verse it is clear that more than one man and woman was made on the sixth day. It would seem according to Genesis chapter 2 that Adam and Eve was created separately. In the event that Eve was the first and only woman, all the descendants would have common mitochondrial DNA, as the mitochondrial is passed down from the mother to all her children. Because of the variations in the mitochondrial DNA, we can assume that more men and women were created in various parts of the world. These men and women might with these days' technologies be seen as a diverse humanoid distribution all over the face of the world. In the third episode of this series we will be discussing the reason why we can say that more humans were created all over the face of the world on the sixth day of the creation. 28 God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground." With this instruction God made mankind the guardians of nature in its entirety. So during the first part of human history, humans depended on nature for everything they had. They lived as part of nature and managed nature so that they would be seen as the most primitive conservationists. Because they depended on nature for their survival, they knew that when they destroy the food source today and overindulge, there would be none in the same region tomorrow. Since man's population grew slowly up to the beginning of the 20th century, the management and conservation of nature and all the animals on Earth was not a major issue. Even when man's actions contributed to the extinction of some of the species, as soon as the human population exploded past 1 billion, the rate of extinctions among the animal species started to increase too. 29 Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food." 30 And to all the beasts of the earth and all the birds in the sky and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. 31 God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. As some would see the story of the creation of the world, some compare it to the understanding that they have about time and the way they measure time. But because God is beyond time, the creation could have happened in the blink of an eye or over billions of years. But the sequence of the creation as laid out in Genesis chapter 1 is the sequence of events that needed to happen to support life as we know today. If any of the steps were reversed, we would be looking at a very different place. I believe that the day analogy was used to make it easier for the early readers of the time to easier understand that certain things first needed to happen, and with the break in time before the following sequence of events could take place and evolve to a world that could support life that would eventually include the human race. So mankind can be 200,000 years or older. This might be the reason that some human structures found can be dated back 200,000 or 300,000 years. As we study the different empires scattered all over the world, all have the basic same stories about the creation of the world and the rise of humankind as they knew it at the time of their rule. In the next episode we will be looking at the Garden of Eden and the creation of Adam and Eve. So I hope this will give you something to think about and hopefully, will bring you back to follow the series as we go on studying the Bible. If you are so inclined, please like the channel and the video. Be polite with your comments, as we know that people have different beliefs and views on what is written in the scriptures. I bid you a peaceful and blessed week ahead. Live every day as if Jesus Christ will arrive on your doorstep later on today.